let's guys now start. How can you be more efficient on a long motorcycle trips? Or how can we see more for a short period of time? This is a question that many will ask before their next trip, and in this live stream I will try to give you the answer. So this is the idea of all of this stream now, to give you some key moments that I'm sure that most of you already know or learned already, hard or easy way, whatever it works for you. But as I said, all the information that I'm going to share here include the information that you're gonna share guys here in the comments, might be very useful for someone who just decided to make trips and still wondering what is the best way to do it. I'll try to do some live streams for channel members and Patreons while I travel, if I have this chance. I haven't done it so far from my telephone, and I don't know how easy or difficult it's going to be. It all depends on the internet connection that I'm going to have. But I'll try to do it here and there, just to keep you informed and to provide you a little bit more information about the trip. But everything step by step. Let's first start the trip, go there. As I told you last week, I already bought my tickets. It's for 21st of November. I will fly from Sofia to Madrid and from Madrid to Bogota, Colombia. And from Colombia, I already have a motorcycle there, but we have to find a motorcycle for my friend Plamen. And we decided to look for exactly the same model as mine, this Honda XRE, which is very similar to CRF 300 model here in Europe, but it's a South American version of it. So we'll have exactly the same motorcycles in the best scenario. So we'll have just one set of spare parts and everything is going to be much easier for us if we have this chance. If not, we're gonna buy whatever we can find on good price and of course on the good condition, which is very important. But as some of my friends already said, I will bring my own mechanic with me, which is wonderful guy, Plamen. I hope that we won't have any problems on that trip and we'll enjoy it. Alright, let's guys now start. How can you be more efficient on a long motorcycle trips? Or how can we see more for a short period of time? This is a question that many will ask before their next trip, and in this live stream I will try to give you the answer. So this is the idea of all of this stream now, to give you some key moments that I'm sure that most of you already know or learned already, hard or easy way, whatever it works for you. But as I said, all the information that I'm going to share here include the information that you're gonna share guys here in the comments, might be very useful for someone who just decided to make trips and still wondering what is the best way to do it. That's why we make these streams and all of this communication or these online sessions with you guys, to help as many as possible young riders or new riders or even for old riders to learn some tricks and some insights that might help them to do their trips much easier than me, for example, because I learned everything from the mistakes, the hard way. The information that I've got when I start riding was not so much, and usually I don't want to listen to anyone, so I was going left, right, hitting my head many times until I got all the information, and I feel now obligated to share with people and eventually help them. Alright, the first point that I'm gonna discuss now, and I'm sure that will help to many, is to plan everything in advance. And I'm sure that many people now will say, oh Pavlin, not again with all of these plans in advance, you talk about it in so many videos and not again now in this live stream. Well, this is the reality, and for me this is number one priority. If you want to be efficient on the trip, you need a plan, good plan, very good plan in advance. It is very important, and without it I don't think that it will be even possible to make a trip. And I'm not gonna even discuss will it be efficient trip if you don't have any plans. So good plans in advance will save you a lot of time. because as you know, guys, we are always limited with the time. Even me now, I planned around 3 months for this trip, but the more I go inside of this trip, the more I realize that 3 months might not be enough, especially if I want to see everything, include Brazil and Venezuela. So I might need to make it a little bit longer, if I'm able to, once I get there. So that's why a very good plan in advance is very important, and it will save you a lot of time. For example, now I can plan how I can go to the south and how I can go to the north without backtracking the same roads, how I can be more or maximum efficient on my way down and then on my way up. All of this is important, and it is possible only if you have a good plan in advance. So as I said, it's very important, it will save you time. Also, you'll be able to see much more, because without a plan, how that is even possible to work? How you gonna start your motorcycle right now? Let's say I will start from Colombia, from Bogota, and without any plan, what I'm gonna see on the road and what direction I will hit. So you definitely need some kind of plan. It is impossible to do it after that. So you'll see much more if you have plan, because you can mark some points on your road or around your road or your route, and you can visit so many different points only if you have a plan. So you'll be way more efficient from the point what you're gonna see. So you definitely probably you can ride faster without any plans, even though I don't believe it. But what you're gonna see on the road is also very important. That's why we travel, not only to twist the throttle, but also to see so many interesting points around the world, right? So you'll save time, you'll see more, you will minimize the risk. With a good plan in advance, you will minimize the risk, because you will know in these areas I'm not gonna travel because they are dangerous, or here it's a overflowing rivers, or here is tornado, or here is some kind of heavy rain. So you can minimize the risk extremely if you only have a good plan in advance. Also, before every day you can make another one plan for the day. And when you have it during the evening, you can open the maps again, check the weather forecast. You can check everything and have another good plan for the next day. That's why it's so important. You will minimize the risk and you will maximize efficiency. I already told you, when you see a good, interesting points around your route, you can decide that, okay, here I can have 10 kilometers going east, but I'm going to see this, and this points. And here I can have 5 kilometers west, but I'm going to see this, and this point. So this is all based and all connected with the efficiency, with your efficiency. So if you can answer to the question that I'm gonna ask you now, can I go to South America without any plans? Can I do it? And I will give whatever money the person prefer, or whatever the money person bet I will give it to everyone who is happy to go with me to South America. We're not gonna travel together. Let's make something like an experiment. We'll go there together. I will go with my plans and I will start riding. He will start without any plans. And let's see who is going to finish the trip, who is going to complete the trip, and who is going to be more efficient on that trip, who is going to see more things, ride less kilometers, and have a few problems and see basically more. I hope that you understand what I mean. It's a little bit, my thoughts are going a little bit like that, but I hope that you got the idea. Sean Farley, how do you plan to border crossing, insurance and import papers? Sean, first, nice to see you here. I'm gonna answer to all of your questions, but please bear now with me until I finish with everything that I planned here. And after I finished, I can try to answer to all of your questions. But please just wait to finish with the topic that I discussed, that I promised that I'm gonna discuss, and then we go back to the topics that you asked. All right? I hope that you understand. Okay, so can I go to South America without plan? In my opinion, not. Even to plan when to buy my flight ticket, it's already enough to understand that without plans it's not going to happen. So number one, plan everything in advance. Now, number two, very important. Make sure that you're in good health. Everything. General health. Make sure that you don't have any problems that are hidden that might come during your trip, or some kind of chronic disease that might be a problem once you get there. If you have problems like diabetes, for example, make sure that you have enough pills or insulin if you're on insulin, and all stuff like that. Just make a good medical check before you go. Just make sure that you're in good, proper health to travel, especially if the trip is long. Sometimes even 5 days might be a problem if you're not a good health, if you're not able to stay at home for 5 days. I'm not even talking about long trips like the one that I'm gonna go now. So make sure that you're in good health, general health, anything like your body health, mental health, your teeth, everything. Make sure that everything is all right. I, for example, always got a good teeth, and even though I go every 6 months on the dentist, now I went again to a detailed check to check everything, just to make sure that I'm not gonna have any problems with my teeth once I fly to South America. And that is prepare your body. Make sure that you're in good condition, in good physical condition to execute the trip that you planned. It doesn't matter how long it is, 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 years, whatever the time period is going to be. Make sure that you're in good physical shape to do it. And I have a video coming on Monday on the main channel. The title is How to Get in Shape for Long Motorcycle Trips. So if you have nothing to do, I will recommend you go and see it. It will be online tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. East European time. So this video might give you some direction what you have to look for. Once again, the title is How to Get in Shape for Long Motorcycle Trips. And I share some information and some basic exercises and techniques that I use to keep myself in a normal health and good physical condition for traveling. So this was number 2, make sure that you're in good health. And number 3, pick the right motorcycle. Again, I talked about it in many of my videos, even on many of my streams. I even have a stream that talks about how to find the right motorcycle for you. But it is important to have the motorcycle that's gonna work for you and the type of the trips that you plan to have. It is very important for your efficiency. And just to go back again to number 2, make sure that you are in good health. Good health is very closely related with your efficiency. If you're not in good health, you cannot be efficient. If you're not good health, you cannot ride, for example, today 3 or 4 or 500 kilometers because you're just not in good health. That's why it's so important to be in good health. Now, for example, on my trip to Russia last year, I've got 49,000 kilometers for 3 months, which is basically means around 450 kilometers per day. How you gonna make 450 kilometers per day if you're not in good health? It's just not gonna happen. If you have problems with your, let's say, your knees or your back or your shoulders, and you'll be forced to ride much less, and all of this will be, of course, will have a very bad effect on your efficiency. That's why I said it's important for efficiency. Don't make mistakes that it is not. So back to the number 3, pick up the right motorcycle. If you want to have the right motorcycle for your type of trips, this will, or if you have it, not if you want to have, if you have the right motorcycle for your type of trips, it will give you the chance to ride much more efficient. Let me transfer this to understand it, to explain it a little bit better. If I plan to have a lot of off-road miles, if I plan, let's say, TED trip, 2 weeks, Georgia and Turkey, for example, but I go there with a street or sport motorcycles, do you think that I'm going to be very efficient there? Of course not. And this will be exactly the same for any kind of motorcycles and different type of trips. That's why it's very important to have the right motorcycle that will serve you on the type of the trips that you plan to go. And it will give you the maximum efficiency that you're looking for. And I can give you a few more examples, but I think that you got the idea. So all of this will help you to be more efficient, to ride with pleasure. Now, for example, last year, I'm sorry that I always say last trip to Russia, but it's just the fresh example that I've got in my head. So my Tenere 700 gave me the chance to ride it for many days on the straight Russian roads. I can ride it on the highways with 120-30 kilometers. I can ride it on the double lane roads. I can make a lot of filtering in the traffic because the motorcycle is not that big. It is flexible to go on all this. I can, and I did it on more than 5,000 kilometers dirt roads on the way to Magadan. So because the motorcycle is very flexible, it gave me all the efficiency that I needed to complete my trip for a time period that I have planned. That's why it's so important to have the right motorcycle. And then number 4 is the right riding gear. It's also very important for your efficiency, because the proper riding gear will give you more, or will give you the necessary comfort that you need to continue traveling for many hours or even days or months, whatever you plan to ride. If you don't feel comfortable with your gear, with your riding gear, you won't be able to travel, let's say 10, 12, 14, 16 hours per day. It happens very often on my trips to finish the day with something like 16 hours. If you don't have a proper comfortable motorcycle riding gear, all of this is not going to be possible. So you might, let me give you a few examples. You might feel very comfortable with your jeans and maybe your light jacket and maybe some kind of sports shoes. It's very comfortable. You can ride all day if the conditions are perfect, let's say 25-30 degrees. But what about if it starts raining? You'll be completely wet after 20 minutes. What about if you need to climb a mountain and the temperature drops to 5 degrees? And what about if you go to very muddy conditions and after just a few minutes, your motorcycle and everything of you is covered by mud, and you'll start to feel the cold and you'll freeze and all of this. That's why to have a proper, comfortable riding gear, it's very important if you want efficiency. If you don't have this gear and you get wet, you have to stop. You have to dry yourself, otherwise you will be sick. If you're sick, your efficiency will be destroyed. But if you stop, your efficiency will be destroyed once again. That's why it's important to have a comfortable riding gear. And also, not only comfortable, it's also need to be safe gear, or you need to think about safety. Because if you have a comfortable gear but it cannot provide safety, let's say you drop your motorcycle on the side with 30 kilometers per hour, but because you don't have any protection, you broke your arm. When you break your arm, of course, the efficiency is gone. Your trip is stopping and that's it. You cannot continue anymore. That's why it's important to have not only comfort but also safety with your gear if you want to be efficient. And when we have comfort and safety, we need another one to make this perfect triangle. It's longevity. You need a gear that will last longer. So when we buy a gear, we will always try to buy the best that we can afford to have comfort, safety and longevity. I don't want to spend 2,000 euros, for example, for riding gear and to fall apart after 1 year. I want this gear to last as much as possible, to protect me as much as possible, to provide me the comfort as much as possible, and to be able to have many trips with it. And most important, I don't want even to think about this gear when I do my trips, because I have made my plans. I plan, for example, today to ride 700 kilometers, and I want to focus on these 700 kilometers and to be efficient, and I don't want to think about gear. So it starts raining, let it rain. I'll have the proper gear, it's not a problem. When it became cold, let it be cold. I have my gear and it's not a problem for me. When it's hot, not a problem. I can open my vents and my gear will be there and will give me all the efficiency and possibility to see as maximum as possible. This is what I call efficiency, and that's why I believe that a proper riding gear, it has its proper place in this list that I have here. The next one, number 5, is strict executions. This is very important, and I cannot stress you enough how important it is. So what I do on my trips, I always have very early starts because I want efficiency. I have a limited amount of time and I want to use it properly, which is mean that for these 3 months I wanted to go to Magadan and go back. If I'm not efficient, if I don't start very early in the morning, I cannot be efficient, because if I'm wasting my time, have a breakfast and go to the toilet, talk with the family, do anything and start like 11 o'clock, I won't be able to cover that many kilometers that I plan. And here some people might say, oh, it's not a problem if I start at 10 o'clock, I can stop a little bit later, but I will still have the same kilometers because I will still have the same riding hours or riding kilometers. But it's not exactly like that, because if I start very early in the morning, I will finish my trip later in the early afternoon, let's say 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll be already there. This is the second point that I have here, early stops. So early starts are equal to early stops. And when I stop at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I will drop the bike, remove my gear, take a shower, eat well, and I will have the whole afternoon to go and walk around, explore the things that, or the sightseeing that I plan to see, to relax properly, to have a nice dinner in relaxable atmosphere, and to go to bed very early, let's say 10 o'clock, and I will have more than enough hours to relax. And on the next morning, when I wake up again very early, because I went to bed very early, I'll be fresh, and I won't even wait to start riding again, because I don't feel tired. But if I finish the riding day, let's say 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening, until you take your shower, until you eat something, it will be like 11 o'clock or maybe 12 o'clock. You'll go to sleep, and the next morning you'll be tired, and you will waste another 3, 4, 5 hours in the morning because you'll be tired. And after 3, 4, maximum 5 days like that, you'll need a day off. I did my trip to Russia and back with, I don't know, probably 3 or 5 days off, and they were not even planned like a days off. It was just some more interesting things that I wanted to see in the areas. That's why I've got like 1 day more off. I never feel tired because I use these simple tactics. It's early starts and early stops. This is very important for efficiency, if you want to be efficient. If you go on a lazy trip, just walk around and see everything, and you don't have any plans, and you don't have any goals, and you don't have any time limits, this is a different story. But I highly doubt that most of us got this time and money just to spend it like that. So early starts, early stops, very important. Another one point, if you want to be strict and if you want to have efficiency, is don't drink much alcohol. The best is without any alcohol, but I will perfectly understand that sometimes on the road 1 or 2 beers or 1 or 2 shots of whiskey or whatever, it might be even beneficial for you, but never too much. If you get drunk the next day, even if you plan to ride, it's not going to be the same riding day. You will lose your concentration, and you will lose your efficiency. This is what I mean. And also you have to focus and stay, always try to find everything that helps you to complete your mission. Because every trip I take it like a mission. This is my mission. I have to complete it and go back safe in one piece. That's why for me it's very important to do everything that helps me to complete the mission. So it helps me to complete the mission, to start early, to stop early, to not drink much alcohol, and to be strict with my plans. All of this helps me to complete the trip with more efficiency. Then we move to number 6. Focus on the main goal. What I mean by that, again, example from last year, my main goal was Magadan. So I put all of my focus, all of my intention to reach Magadan. Everything. So this was my main goal. Once I reached it, I said to myself, whew, so far so good, so good. I completed the mission, even if I cannot go back. For example, I have a problem, or the motorcycle breaks, or anything, health problems, or any border problems, whatever. I completed my goal. The main goal was to reach Magadan. On the way back, everything was bonus, but the main goal was Magadan. And if you are focused on that, focus on the main goal, everything on the side, all distractions on the sides are easy to avoid, if you understand what I mean. So follow your plan. You have the plan, you follow your plan, focus on the main goal, and whatever happens around you, you just don't mind. At least this is me. When I have this, I told you many times, I'm like a pit bull. I saw the target, grab it, and bam, 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 until I get it. Because this is my goal. This is how I do. I always look forward to my next mini goal. I created many mini goals on the road. First was, let's say, to reach the Russian border. Second was to go in Russia, because this was very important, to go in Russia. Borders, problems, visas. Now, current situation, I didn't know anything until last month. So the first mini goal to go in Russia was completed. Then I have another one. Let's say the next mini goal is going to be Baikal Lake. After Baikal Lake, the next will be, let's go to now Yakutsk. From Yakutsk, the next was Magadan. So all of these mini goals help you to have like a mini rewards when you reach the goal, and help you to continue and stay and focus and to be more efficient for everything that you plan ahead. And also, don't regret and never look back. Whatever you miss on the road, because sometimes we miss important towns or important attractions or important things that we plan to see, but because of the time, because of the weather, or because of some other circumstances, we have to avoid some things that we plan. But I never regret on that. If I haven't got the chance to see it now, probably this was the God's will, or I might come later or in another time, but I never regret about anything that I miss back on the road. Because usually on one trip you cannot see everything, but a good amount of sightseeing points will be always there to see it. So this was number 6, again very important for your efficiency. Let's now go to number 7. Again very important, don't take unnecessary risks. So to climb this hill now, because it's very interesting and it will be adventure, it's not something that I will recommend to do on a long motorcycle trips when you have so many kilometers to cover, when you have your main goal to reach, the target point that you decided to have at home, and to have this mini adventure days here and here and there might be great fun, but I would not recommend to risk all the time, or to risk at all. Let's say to climb this hill, or this river crossing looks interesting. It's not on my roll, but I can go and cross this river because it's going to be fun. I'm gonna have nice video and publish it on Instagram, and everyone will see how great adventurer I am. So this is stupid. Please don't do it on the trips, because you have your main goal and you have to follow the main goal. All of this might make a really bad favor to your efficiency, because you don't know what will happen there. You might have a small technical problem and waste 2-3 days, even a week, if you break something because you decided to do something else. If you want efficiency, stick to the plan and do exactly what it was. Or risky overtakes, or riding too fast, or something like that. All of these are risky maneuvers that you shouldn't take when you have your big plan. Let me give you one example that might help you a little bit more to understand what I mean. Now, on my plan to South America, my trip to South America, as I told you, we're gonna go with my friend and mechanic Plamen. He's the best, one of the best enduro riders in the country, in Bulgaria. Not only in Bulgaria, around Balkans as well. We've been with him with many day rides here and there, and a few days trips around the country, around neighbor countries. I know what exactly he loves. So every time when he see a big hill, he loves to climb it. And when we ride together, we have to go together. In many days he said, oh, this is easy ride, and we went to some places and they realized that they're not that easy. They're maybe easy for him, but not for me. It was very difficult for me, but I went there anyway. So now for the trip that is ahead, I said to him, Plamen, listen, I know you very well. I know that you're a great rider. I know that you will like to have here and there some adventures, but on this trip now, it's not gonna happen. Please accept it now or stay in Bulgaria, because I cannot risk my mission. I cannot risk the whole trip. I cannot risk to fail because of moment fun. Please understand it now or forget about the trip. And he's a wonderful person. I am sure that will be all right. He said, no worries at all. I also understand we're going to be on thousands of kilometers away from home. We're going to be on very different motorcycles in different environment. And it's not good idea to take unnecessary risks if you want to be efficient. Because the time period that we have, as I said already, might be not enough. So we don't really have time to wasting here and there, trying some hills and river crossings or whatever adventurous activities we can see. I hope that you got the idea what I mean. Now, number 8, keep yourself in good shape. I already told you partly in one of the previous points, but what I mean by that is mostly when you're on the ride. Everything that I told you before that in the video that I'm gonna play tomorrow, we'll talk about how to stay general and health, but what you have to do when you on the trip already. Just because you're in great physical condition before the trip, it doesn't mean that on the trip you shouldn't do, or you don't have to do anything. Because riding 10 hours per day in position that you do nothing just like that might be very bad after 2 or 3 months, depends on that how long is the trip. That's why I will recommend, if you want to be efficient, if you want to preserve your health, or if you want to be flexible and healthy enough to complete the trip, every day when you finish the riding day, walk around at least 1 hour to move your blood, to have some fresh air, to stretch your legs, it's like to lubricate your skeleton. It is very important to have it every day if you want to be efficient. Also make sure that you have enough days off. Even though I told you that on my trip to Russia I haven't got almost no days off, but for most of people this is not going to be easy job. So if you feel tired, make sure that you have enough days off just to get what your body needs. If you want to relax more, if you want to spend one day more doing nothing, just do it so. But make sure that you have enough days off and give enough time to your body to recover from the long days of riding. And also every day make some kind of exercises. They don't need to be something complicated, but some kind of exercises you need it, because many hours sitting in one position doing nothing slowly killing your body. So this is very important if you want to be efficient, if you want to complete your task, if you want to see everything that you plan. Make sure that you're walking every day, you have enough days off, and you exercise even during your trip. And number 9, stay away from distractions. Again, partly I told you about it, but again, avoid everything that will distract you from the main goal. Everything that will distract you, just avoid it. We're gonna drink with friends here 2-3 days or 2-3 days. This is all distraction from your main goal. If you have a lot of time, if you have a lot of money, if you don't have some kind of specific goals, not a problem, do whatever you like. But if you want to be efficient on that trip, on that journey, exactly for this plan, for this goal, avoid everything that will distract you from the main goal and stick to the plan. Do only things that will help you in reach your goal, not the opposite. So do everything that will help you to reach your goal faster, easier, more efficient, not the opposite things. You understand what I mean? And the last but not least, remember why you came here, why you decided to go there. I can tell you why I'm going to South America. I'm going to South America to see Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, all of these countries. And I have my goal. I want to see these countries. If I'm not efficient, I cannot do it. If I don't follow all 9 rules that I told you already, I cannot complete this mission. I cannot be efficient. So all of these points are very, very important. And last, number 10, always remember that need to finish the trip safely. So this is number 1 priority that you should have. Never forget that this is the most important, to go back safe in one piece. So there is no risk on the world that is, or how I have to say, there is not so important risk. There is nothing that risks more than that worth more than your life, or whatever you want to name it. You have people at home that waiting for you. Also, never forget that. You have people at home that waiting for you. You might be your mother, your father, your wife, your kids, your friends, all of these people waiting for you. So nothing worth more than these people. So any not necessary risks, just avoid it straight away. Need to finish the trip safely. Remember this phrase. And never get loose even in the last few kilometers. So never get loose. Now, once again, an example from my trip to Russia. I went to Magadan, but from Magadan to home I still got 20,000 kilometers. So I cannot get loose because I need to go there. Even the last, believe it or not, the last 10 kilometers, when I was already on the highway, on the 10 kilometers distance, I saw Varna. I said to myself, oh man, don't go loose, because there are still 10 kilometers. There are still 10 kilometers, even though it's just a straight highway, 10 kilometers. But I was like this all the time. And finally, when I reached Varna, when I saw the sign Varna, it was like, such a relief to understand that I finally got back home after so many kilometers, so many days and hours, and all. So never get loose even in last few kilometers, because usually the mistakes are happens when you already believe that all done, I'm ready, it's all finished, now I can afford to do some more risky moments or stuff like that. So I hope that you got the idea. So guys, this was basically everything that I planned, all the points that I had here in the list. Now, if you have any questions on this topic, if you want to add more information or any other questions like Sean asked for early here, I'll be glad to reply. I will start with Sean. How do you plan for border crossing, especially insurance and important paper? Okay, Sean, if you mean now my upcoming trip to South America, Of course, I'm gonna have a motorcycle on my name, and when the motorcycle is on my name, border crossings are not a problem. Insurances, they are different for every country. The motorcycle that I'm gonna get in Bolivia, in Colombia, will have its own insurance. But if I need a specific insurance in every other country, I'm sure that they will tell me on the borders, and I'm gonna pay for it. The papers that I'm gonna need are the documents of the motorcycle and my passport, my driver license, and the usual documents. Richard, supermarkets, food, and just the occasional meal out of will save dollars. I think anywhere will spend less $12, little savings every day out on a long trip. Absolutely agree with this, Richard. Thank you very much for adding. This is also very important for your efficiency, because if you run out of money, your efficiency will drop significantly. That's why budget, I should have this like a point, I forgot it. It's very important to budget your trip accordingly, because if you don't have the proper budget, if you don't have enough money to complete your trip, the whole efficiency or all other points will just vanish like that, because they're not possible to execute it. Absolutely agree that food from supermarket saves a lot of money, and at the end of the trip you'll be surprised how much you saved. Instead of giving, let's say you travel in Europe, every time when you stop to eat something, even if it's a simple sandwich, you'll spend 10 euros. But for 10 euros, you can buy a breakfast and you can buy a dinner and breakfast from the supermarket. So you will eat twice for the same money. You can even have some snacks for the road. It's very important. Thank you very much for adding, Richard. So I have 7 people here, 5 people I know, 2 people I don't know. Sean is first time here, and who is the 7th person? Please introduce yourself to me and to the rest of the guys. And once again, if you have questions or if you want to add something, please do it so. Don't forget that this information will be very important and very maybe beneficial for everyone who is going to watch the stream. Edited option after that. Sean Saab, hello, Sam from Switzerland, first time and happy to join you. Welcome, Sam. I hope that you'll find some important information in our communication. I also hope that you came on time and you was able to listen to the conversation. So if you have any questions or if you want to add something, now is the moment. Please do it so. Richard, have as much paperwork done in advance before you go to save time doing on the road, and if you can learn so languages, we'll see. Absolutely agree. Wonderful. Thank you very much for adding, Richard. Now, for example, I'll try to prepare as much as possible documents before I even go there. I'll make a lot of photocopies of my passports and my driver license and all stuff like that, because I know that on many South American borders they will ask me for copies, and if you don't have copies, they charge you for something like $10 or $15 for one zero copy. So all of this is very important when you plan to cross many borders. Make sure that you spend enough time in advance to find all the documents, everything that you need. So next one, Pete. The biggest cost will be fuel. Try and keep ref steady and higher gear possible. Yes, this is a good topic. I discussed this many times on my last trip to South America. The difference between 90 kilometers per hour and 120 kilometers per hour would have cost me something like 1,000 euros at the end of the trip. So much more, just because I will twist a little bit more. Save money from petrol is very important. Sean, you've been once before. I'm from UK. Okay, glad to hear this, Sean. I hope that you will come again and you'll have some questions. Some indeed already a subscriber since some time and use these hints and tips in my long journey. Still a beginner, so excellent, Sam. I hope that all of this will help you to have many more successful trips. Sam again, how do you pick your interest points of visit in the country? Well, every country has some important places to visit, and it's always subjective, because you have to know what you like to see. For example, I'm not a big fan to go and see big cities or churches here and there, even though I've been to many churches, but I don't want to see every church in every big town. I'm not interested from many things, but I would like to see specific things. That's why it is always subjective, and what you want to see in specific country you should know about it. Some countries, for example, got not so much to see, but they have some very important things. I can give you one example. Turkmenistan. There is nothing really to see in Turkmenistan. I went there because I wanted to see Ashgabat, the city of marble and fountains everywhere in the middle of the desert, and I wanted to see Dervaza. It was the gas crater that is burning in the middle of the desert. These are the two things that brought me to Turkmenistan because I wanted to see it. So I spent like a week riding in the desert, seeing nothing, then straight roads and sand, but I wanted to visit Ashgabat and there was a crater. So point of interest are subjective for everyone, and I always try to find as much as possible information about the country that I plan to visit before the trip. It is also number one, plan in advance. When I make my plans in advance, I always try to see what is important in the country and include it in my trips. Sean, again, I want to go to Russia and I was thinking crossing border with Georgia. Do you know which border is best? Yes, the border with Georgia, it's not a problem. You can cross it there. But you are from UK. For you, it's going to be much easier if you go from Latvia or Estonian border. Any border now at the moment will be a problem for someone from UK. And you'll spend a lot of time there on the borders. But I will recommend instead of Georgian border, unless you plan to go to Georgia first, depends on the trip, the easy border is going to be Estonia, the most easy border for you from UK. If you want to see Turkey and Georgia, it will be a different story, but Georgian border is fine. Richard, again, traveling alone or a maximum two is much more effective and efficient in riding in big group. Absolutely no doubts about it. The most efficient trip you can do if you are alone. I have no doubts about it because I've done many trips. I've done with different people and alone. When I'm alone, I am always more efficient than anything else. Riding in the group, you will lose a lot of time. Clear. So online search and some connections. Yeah, absolutely. Do online search. Ask some people or people that's been in the country. Nowadays, there's so much information online. You can find basically everything. Even Google Maps. When you open Google Maps, you will find so many different attractions already in the country that you plan to visit. And if you put your mouse over there, they will open pictures and links to Wikipedia. You can find all information only if you need it. And all of this is part of the adventure, part of the preparation, part of the plan in advance. All of this is very important. That's why I said I don't really believe that there are still people that are traveling without any plans. Unless they plan to go and ride around their hometown for pleasure for a couple of hours, that's something like I do all the time. Pete, Lonely Planet Online, it's a good source. Absolutely agree. There are so many good sources of information, but the information now is just unlimited. You can find so much. YouTube is a great source of information for everything. Every place that you plan to ride on the world, someone already been there, unless you plan to go to the North Pole in the winter. But even the people that been there, like Anatoly Chernevsky that I met in Russia, he went to Chukotka in the middle of the winter. So for every piece of land that is on our earth, you'll find someone that already been there. Maybe not with motorcycle, but they already been there. So, Sean, how did you make contact with the Russian motorcycle clubs? Was this planned in advance? No, it was not planned in advance, but somewhere in the middle of Russia, someone told me about it. Let me see if I keep the map here. Someone on the road told me about it, and they gave me a link of the website. And when you open these websites, all bike posts or bike clubs are already in this map. Let me find this map if I can now. I'll try to find it and share it later on some of my social networks if I can find it. Okay, I want to go to Russia. Okay, Richard, traveling alone in a maximum is okay. Sound clear or sound? How did you make a contact with Russians? Yeah, someone told me about this map, and I was sure that somewhere I remember it, but I couldn't remember where. I definitely have it in one of my videos, but it will take a few minutes to find it, and I don't want to waste your time here, guys. So really sorry about it. It was motocarta.ru. Anyway, before I go, when I finish the stream, before I go, I will find this link and we'll list it here in the stream, so you'll be able to see it later. Let's focus now on the question. Sam, Are you planning to get tent in your trip to South America or motels mainly? No, I'm not gonna take my tent. I don't think that I'm gonna need it there. First of all, the hotels are very affordable there. The hotels are around $10. For $10 per day, I don't plan to sleep in the tent. Also, a tent will be an additional weight that I don't want to take with me. Also, when you have, this is another point that is very important in the topic efficiency. If you have tent, you cannot be that efficient. Let me explain you why. Every night when you have your tent, let's say that you have a really nice sleep in the tent. But I don't think that you can sleep better in the tent than in a hotel. But there are some people that sleep better in the tent than hotel. Okay, I agree. So we're all different. In the hotel, I will have a proper night's sleep, I will be relaxed and I will be ready for the next day. In the tent, it's not always the same, but even if you sleep very well in the tent and you're able to recover and relax, on the next morning, you have to wait at least 2 hours. You need a sun to come to dry your tent, and then you can pick your tent and put it back in the back and start riding. Because if you take your tent very fast, it will be wet, and on the next morning it will be even, the next evening it will be even worse, if you understand what I mean. So you need at least 2 hours every day to dry your tent before you put it back in the back and go to ride. So you will lose a lot of time. And what about when it's raining? When it's raining all night, on the next morning you will have again wet tent, you will fold it, put it in the luggage and go, and the evening is going to be completely wet. So you'll lose a lot of weight, and I don't think that with the tent you can have the same efficiency that you will have if you sleep in hotels and stuff like that. And this was the main reason why I'm not gonna take it in South America. First, because the hotels are very affordable, and second, because it will slow me down in many days. And I'm there to see as maximum as possible for a short period of time. I want efficiency, and the tent will stay home. I hope that this answers your question. Let's make this more interesting for all the people that are gonna watch the stream after that. I have 9 people now. Still don't know the rest of the people. Sean, Pete, Richard, Nikolai, Big D. But there's still few people that I don't know. Please say hello, introduce yourself. You see me, I don't see you. It's a one-way connection. Let's make it a little bit more interesting for you and for me as well. I'm glad that you're here, but let's make it more 2 ways. Because guys, it's very strange. You see me, I don't see you. I only rely on your comments here. And if I don't have comments, it's a little bit weird. Know how to and how you will navigate safe time. Yeah, absolutely. It's important to know how to do important stuff and also how to navigate yourself. These are some basics skills that you should have if you want to be efficient. First, you should know how to navigate yourself and how to fix basic things on your motorcycle if you want more efficiency. Sean, have been able to plan the route by difficulty on the road surface? Have been able to plan the route by difficult on the road surface. I cannot really understand the question, Sean. Sorry, it's my English. Have been able to plan the route. Or what do you mean by that? Please screen. William Robbins. Good evening, Pavlin. Apologies for being late. I'm out of riding now. No worries, William. At least you're here. You missed the whole conversation, but don't worry about it. On Saturday, next Saturday, 7th of September, this live stream will be slightly edited and it will be online, so you can see the whole conversation. I believe that it was very interesting, but I don't know really about you. So Sean, please explain it once again. I cannot really get your question. Have been able to plan the route by difficult of the road surface. I think I understand what it is, but just clarify it for me, please. Yes, you can tell it from the maps. Every map got a legend, and in the legend is written, let's say, big red line, it's a highway. A big yellow line is going to be double lane road. If it's a small, like dark line, it's going to be dirt roads. In the maps, usually everything is explained. It's not always 100% correct, but you can have a lot of information from the map. I mean, paper maps. But from Google, you definitely have a lot of information. If it's in more popular area, you can have even this small like a human that is on the map. When you put it on the road, you'll have a live view. You'll see exactly what is the condition of the road. Of course, it's some kind of dirt road in the mountains, you're not gonna have it, but in the big towns or popular areas, you'll definitely have it. I hope that you answered the question. William Robbins, I'll catch up. Excited your trip and you have a travel date. And that you have a travel date. Yes, I have a travel date, 21st of November. I cannot wait to go. Now when I have the tickets, everything is like, woo, I cannot wait anymore. Before the ticket, 1 year of planning and all of this was far, far away. But now it is very close and I'm just excited now to go. I'm ready to go, but we'll wait. All right, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I plan to end the stream here. Sunday evening, as usual, I'm sure that you have some more interesting things to do instead of watching me here talking. Thank you very much first to be my supporter, channel member or Patron, whatever you are, watching my videos, and thank you very much for coming tonight and do this stream with me, guys, because without you, I cannot do it alone. Alone I do my videos, but the stream is something different. Let's see, Big D. Card cache and bike security, it only takes one dirt bug to destroy. A trip UK YouTuber took a luggage into the hotel, came back and no GS, and I can open my mouth. Yeah, shit happens unfortunately. I have many videos on the topic security of the motorcycle. Go and check them out, but it's something important because you're the only person that is responsible for your motorcycle while you're on the trip, and make sure that every time your motorcycle is parked on a safe position and it's locked and you have fully control on it. If I don't have control on my motorcycle, if I cannot park it on a proper place, if I cannot see it, if I'm not sure that it's safe over there, I'm not gonna leave it. I'm not gonna leave it just like that. So if I cannot be sure that the motorcycle is safe, I'm not gonna stay in this place. I'll try to find another place. So once again, yeah, absolutely, Sam. When we have a common hobby, it's worth it. Thank you very much for all of you guys. Okay. Thank you once again, guys, and see you next Sunday. Bye.